Mark Mitchell is an expert at conflict resolution. He has consulted for Hughes Aircraft, Mattel, the Rand Corporation, Boeing, Chiat Day, and a variety of family businesses. He presents material that is scientifically based in an entertaining, positive, and pragmatic way so that employees can enhance themselves and their companies. He is a licensed psychotherapist with over 20 years' experience and is the author of a training video in conflict resolution.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How are we doing this morning?
Great.
Good. Well, I have 3 questions I'd like to pose to you. First of all, would you like your employees to be more respectful and polite?
Yes. Absolutely.
Do you remember a time when employees were respectful and polite? Yes. Oh, you don't? Okay. Well, we'd like to try to encourage that. Also, would you like to prevent harassment suits at your company? Yeah. Sexual harassment and workplace violence suits are the biggest legal pending that are occurring in our court system. And finally, would you like your employees to be more of a team? Good. Well, my purpose in this talk this morning is to address several issues: workplace violence prevention, sexual harassment prevention, conflict resolution, anger management, and stress reduction. So we're going to approach it that way. But before I get into that, are there any posing questions that you really want to ask in particular regarding this issue?
I have a question. I have an employee who's just really rude and angry all the time, and I don't know how to handle them.
So her question is, she has an employee that's rude and angry all the time. Would you be willing to come on up here? Thank you. So tell me, what kinds of things have you tried with this employee?
I've tried being really nice to them, you know, and then I've tried reprimanding them.
Okay. And this is a very common experience. Most people, when they try to solve a problem, they try A or they try B. And frequently they keep going back and forth, A and B, A and B. And that actually contributes to the problem in some ways. So what the research shows is there's several things you can do with an individual who you're having conflict with. First thing is to stand at right angles like we're standing. Usually when addressing an employee, if you stand directly like this, it's a little more challenging. And this is especially true with males. So some of those who are men in the audience probably remember that from their boyhood. So you want to stand at right angles. Okay. The second thing you want to do is you want to do slight nodding of the head. And the reason you want to do slight nodding of the head, it communicates to the individual you're in rapport with them. And it makes them feel safe. The third thing you want to do is have eye contact with them. So notice the color of their eyes, like you have brown hazel eyes. It kind of humanizes it in a lot of ways, making it better that way. Finally, you want to lower your tone. You want to make your tone lower than the individual's. Take a one-down position, and it gets them to calm down. Because if you raise your tone and make it louder, it gets the person's defensiveness up. And then finally, what you want to do if you know the individual is you want to slightly touch their forearm area. That slight touching of the forearm area calms people, gives them a feeling of somebody's in rapport with them, of being with them. So those are the things I'd like you to try with the employee. And then you give me a buzz and let me know how it went.
All right, great.
Okay? Thank you very much. Could we have a hand for it? Very good. Excellent. Is there another question? Yes.
Yes, I do have a question. What do I do with my own anger at work and home?
His question is, what does he do with his own anger at work and home? People do usually 2 things. They tell themselves, I'm right in being angry, and I feel justified in being angry. How many have felt that? Very good. So usually we tell ourselves over and over again, I'm right, I'm justified, I have a good reason to be angry, and this is what fuels the anger, first of all. So there's a couple things that you can do. The first thing is you have to decide to be calm. That's the first thing you have to decide. You have to decide to be calm, and the way you can establish calm is by counting your breaths in to 4, out to 4, in to 4, out to 4. So counting your breaths will calm you. And in many ways, you have to make a decision to be in relationship rather than being right. Now, in marriage, as you may know, or in a relationship of some kind that you're loving, sometimes you'll have arguments, and oftentimes you're right, but you're not in love. So you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision to be in love rather than being right. That's what works in a relationship, ultimately. You have to make that leap in many ways. And it's true with any kind of anger. You have to decide in some ways that the relationship is more important than the anger. The other thing that you can do is, if you are able to do, is go for a 20-minute walk. Walking behavior is the single best activity you can do to calm yourself. But what you tell yourself is very, very important. Most of the research shows that men tell themselves, I don't need this, I'm out of here, you know, I can find somebody else, da-da-da, da-da-da, all this negative stuff. The research shows you should tell yourself 3 things. We'll get past this, I care about them, they care about me. Let's all say that. We'll get past this, I care about them, they care about me. Very good. So even though you don't believe that when you're angry, the research shows that telling yourself that over and over again actually changes the interaction and gets the desired result, as opposed to telling yourself a lot of negative things, a lot of things that induce fear. So those are the techniques that I would suggest you try with your anger in particular. So some of you may be wondering, you know, who is this guy? Who's this man, Mark Mitchell, that's come to talk with me today? Well, first of all, on a more serious note, I'm a victim of workplace violence from about 25 years ago. I used to work in a liquor department in a market in East Los Angeles where I used to get held up all the time. So I got very intrigued with the idea of, you know, making the workplace safe for my own personal reasons. Very important kind of thing to do. The second thing is I'm a licensed psychotherapist the last 20 years. I've worked with professional athletes of the National Basketball Association with their anger and some of their issues. I've worked with police officers, executives, teenagers, children, husbands, wives, pretty much everybody. But the primary area I've focused on with these individuals is conflict resolution. And finally, my mission is to help you make your workplace a safe and respectful place, a place where people feel safe and secure. So I offer you one final question. May I help you? Thank you.